Hi guys, welcome to another video. It's Ndagire here. Thanks for coming. Today's video is something that has been circulating on the internet and it's happening in South Africa. You know, there's a lot of drama that is happening in that place right now and it's crazy. So we have this white South African who, as usual, said things that were not so nice about us as a people, about black people, and he was also saying the N-word, which is crazy to me. Like, why would you even say that as a white person in this era of 2024 of the internet, where you know information is going to be traveling like crazy? But yeah guys, before I get into anything, watch this clip, come back and let's talk about it.
But one last thing I'd like to say is, if Africa had to disappear off the face of the earth, no one would fucking notice. That's all I've got to say. Wow. And people say it was bad back in apartheid. Jesus. You know, the white people in this country is going through a reverse apartheid. Say whatever the fuck you want, alright? Back in the day, black people were beaten. Black people were killed, alright? What has changed? Today, white people are beaten. White people are killed. White people are discriminated against. What's the fucking difference? Please do tell me. Call me a fucking racist if you want. But you come and live in this fucking country, and you, though a white individual, come live here and tell me that you aren't discriminated against and that you aren't fucking blamed for things that happened in the past, even though I had no fucking hand in it.
What are we going to do about this 𝗷𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗲 and that filthy mouth of his? And before the racist starts with, oh, but what about Julius Malema? Your options are many. Go open a case with the SAPS, go open a case with the South African Human Rights Commission, go start your own petitions. Your options are many other than to come here and irritate me. I think I'm more annoyed with the political leaders that were busy defending him, busy saying, oh, but he made a mistake and that was 16 years ago. What mistake is racism? Like, are you joking me? And I think I'm even more annoyed, especially with the ones of color, because we all know that racists don't change. The only reason why they apologize is because they've been caught out because they're feeling too much heat. But their thoughts and their feelings towards people of color, they'll never ever change. Let me tell you something. Yo, I'm so annoyed. But again, I ask, what are we gonna do about that Ronaldo and that filthy mouth of his?
You've probably seen this man by now. And if you haven't, the man's name is called Ronaldo 𝗷𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗲, or simply Ronaldo. And he is an MP from the Democratic Alliance who was recently caught in controversy after saying racist utterances on video. Now, the Democratic Alliance has been telling the press and the rest of South Africa that they have a thorough vetting process in terms of deciding who exactly becomes MP on behalf of the party. However, how is it that a process which is thorough, which goes through the personal backgrounds of each and every single candidate and takes into account their history as a whole, was not able to pick up these sort of instances with Mr. 𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁? How is it that IOL was able to use a web internet archive tool to simply retrieve this video, and the DA with their world-class vetting process was not able to find this sort of information? Furthermore, this grown man, right, says to us all, like us as South Africans, and he states that he was 25 years old when he made all of these videos, and he doesn't have any sort of recollection of making these sort of videos. And he even goes to say that it might be AI generated. But I feel like the Democratic Alliance is insulting our intelligence, because there is no way, right? A man of his age does not remember what he did when he was 25. There is just no way in hell that the same Democratic Alliance that wants to be taken seriously by South Africans, that wants to champion non-racialism, that is a party to an agreement where one of its core principles is non-racialism, is the exact same party which is fielding pieces of shit such as Mr. Ronaldo 𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁, and then pretend like it's not that big of a deal. He was only 25. He didn't know better. No shit. No shit. I'm 25. I'm 25. And I'm very much context. My prefrontal cortex, it's cooked. It's very cooked. It's formed. So there's no way in hell that you can use that excuse as somewhat of a cop-out for this man. If you want to be a pro-white party, say it with your chest. Like, say it with your... Be like VF+. They know themselves, like 𝗙𝗶𝗿𝗀𝗃. We are white only. From God, it's fine. But don't insult the intelligence of South Africans. I ask that much of you guys. Don't insult the intelligence of us as a people. That's it.
As you've seen the video, that is what went down. And as a quick story, the ANC is what literally it didn't really win the elections because it got 40% and it had to do a coalition with another party. And unfortunately, this party that is ruled by black people, by a black man, decided to side with the white people. So basically right now, the ANC, which now is like the ruling party, cannot pass any law without the white people, without the DA accepting. Now, this person, this man that said these racist things about us as a people, is part of the DA. He's part of that party that is now in governance. You can imagine having such a person in power. And if one has that mindset, I'm pretty sure it's in most of them. Not to say that all of them are horrible, but I mean, from what we are seeing, if they have this kind of a person and they are actually, they were coming out to defend him.
I think the remarks need to be seen in their context. He's apologized for them. It was 16 years ago. When people are young and irresponsible, they're young and irresponsible. And he's acknowledged that. He realizes he's now a member of parliament and he now has to abide by the rules of the caucus.
No plans to that effect?
Well, we'll have to see what the party processes are going forward. I'm not familiar with those.
Until people started calling him out, then they put up a statement that they fired him, suspended him. Actually, they suspended him, not really fired him, which is weird.
𝗗𝗶𝗀𝗄𝗁 has been suspended from party activities in the Democratic Alliance with immediate effect. This follows the surfacing of a video in which Ronaldo uses execrable and totally unacceptable language that are directly opposed to the value system of the Democratic Alliance. His case has been referred to the Federal Legal Commission, and if he wants to state his defense, he will be able to do so there. But till then, he is suspended from all party activities, and we await the outcome of his disciplinary hearing.
Why are you even still giving a gap for him to still be somewhere in that corporation, in that party? Make it make sense. But also, as African people, we are not going to have this freedom that we are looking for, fighting for. If today in 2024, majority of black South African people went and voted for a white party, you think they are going to fight for you? I mean, if they were really going to be doing better for you, by now we would have, or you would have, more equality in the world, in South Africa. But they control most of the resources, they control most of the things in South Africa, they control most of every little thing, companies, corporations that are in South Africa. No black people participate in those things. So if you went out of your way and voted for a white man, for a white party, you should really accept whatever comes from this governance that is going to be happening till 2026. It's the reality. It is the reality. And they know, as them people, that now they have the authority because they came out and said without the ANC letting them know of anything, nothing will ever be passed.
AC, who have now signed this document as well, do they reach that 60%?
No, let me say this, that the ANC can't bring people in that they feel like bringing in. This is another thing that 𝗙𝗂𝗄𝗂 doesn't seem to understand, because it says that in keeping with the spirit of an inclusive GNU, it is agreed that the composition shall be discussed and agreed amongst the existing parties whenever new parties decide to be part of the GNU. Now, agreed means by sufficient consensus. So it's not the ANC that gets to invite everybody, as 𝗙𝗂𝗂𝗂 seems to think. But he must read clause 24 of the document that he signed.
Hold on. So are you saying to me that even when the PA decides to join, the ANC has had to consult you before accepting any other party to come and join and sign that document?
Absolutely. There are three founding members of this. It is ourselves, it is the ANC, and it is the IFP. And clause 24 says, in keeping with the spirit of an inclusive GNU, it is agreed that the composition shall be discussed and agreed amongst the existing parties whenever new parties desire to be part of the government of national unity. That's what it says in clause 24.
So were you consulted about the PA or the PAC?
We were consulted about the PAC, but not the PA. They haven't consulted us, and the ANC must realize that they don't take all the decisions anymore. They didn't win the election.
So we have this black man who is going to be the president of South Africa, as a picture, because if there's anything that needs to be passed, whether it's for the black people or anyone else, the DA, the white party, has to accept it. If they don't, nothing is going to happen. If anything comes out and it's to benefit the black population, they're not going to accept. It is what it is. And also, what I didn't understand is these people, our leaders, literally sign things they don't understand. I don't know if they don't have lawyers. I don't know if their lawyers are just fake. But this is what I really got from the video of that lady. She says, if the ANC does not cooperate or brings in people without letting the DA know about it, it's going to be out of the law, because the document that was signed clearly states that without the DA accepting anything that has to be passed, it will not pass. Is that a black man that is going to be doing better for black people? Is that a black leader that is going to do better for us as a people? It was so unfortunate that other people were still coming out and talking about how bad it looked to see a black man, side with the white people to be part of government and neglect his brothers and sisters, neglect the mass, the black South Africans.
What is your one prayer from this moment today, Dr. Sullivan?
I think the government has made a mistake. I don't think it's the government of national unity. It's a government of selective unity. And I'm saying they should bring in the EFF, they should bring in the MK, because essentially it's one party. EFF, COPE, MK, ANC were one party. This was the liberation movement. Why have you divided yourselves? Why have you split yourself in that manner? We need to overcome the egos, the differences, and go back to our roots and our values for humanity. They need to sit together and solve the problems together.
In a quick word, is this one of the biggest mistakes the ANC is making in this moment?
Yes. I don't think the ANC is thinking clearly. I don't think they're thinking for themselves. I think there's outside influences thinking for them.
Like who?
Foreign powers, foreign governments, corporates, and I think the ANC should go back and look at the friends that they've had. They've been in the trenches, they've done lots of things together. How can you say it's a government of national unity and exclude people that were in the trenches with you? It just doesn't make sense.
How are we going to grow? How are we going to develop if we still see that we are not able to work together? If we see we are not able to develop on our own, and we come here and complain, oh, colonizers, oh, white people, I do the same thing. I always come out and call them out. But looking at this situation where our people literally sign things they don't understand, but they are our leaders, is freaking crazy, ridiculous. And how is that even possible? How is that possible? And that's why I liked that Malema came out and stated that South Africans, especially if you are a person that went and voted for the DA, a white party, you should never come out anymore and complain about racism. You should just accept racism, and he's right.
The people of South Africa must swallow what they've decided to chew. Why do they go and make decisions and hope someone is going to rescue them from the other side? It's their own decision. They chose load shedding, they chose Ramaphosa, they chose the highest level of unemployment, they chose racism. That's what they chose.
If we didn't want Ramaphosa, why didn't you vote him out and stop asking us to do things that you didn't do?
Yes.
You had an opportunity to vote Ramaphosa out, you didn't do it. You know Malema will do it. Do it yourself.
If you go to a ballot and chose to vote for a white person to be a leader in government as a black person in South Africa, where there is no equality, where they are ruling and controlling most of the resources and the things you have in that country, you should never come out and complain about racism, about injustices, about opportunities. Because you did your part. You chose the person that you thought is going to do better for you as a people. When we look into history, we've never seen as a people come out to do better for us as a people. for black people. So if you really thought voting for them is going to help you out, let's hope for the better. Why they don't like Malema is because he wants to talk about the borders, about the African unity, about the one currency, the one bank reserve. It's crazy how black South Africans especially are more hateful towards other black Africans than the actual white people that they actually voted for to be in power, who have been oppressing them since the day they landed in that country. Make it make sense. Going back to the racist man saying that what white people are going through is the same as what black people, African people, South African black people went through is wild. Is wild. Those two can never be compared. You cannot compare an operation of 400, even more years, to a time where people are just waking up to the reality that everything white people have always been teaching is a lie. You can't make this up. If it takes, okay, let's say it's been 20 years of us, let's say, realizing of the atrocities of the things them people did to my people. How can you compare 20 years to 500 years and more to your people as your people for the things they did to people that look like me? Is that even comparable? Can you compare a person of 70 years experience to a person of 15 years, 20 years experience in any profession? Impossible. So saying that white people are being oppressed today or are having an apartheid going on in a world where if anything happens, there is laws that can really support someone, especially as a white person, and compared to a time where our people didn't have any justice, where even if it was just a lie from a white woman or a man, they would be just taken down. There were no laws to support any of our people. You want to compare that time to the time of today and say you're going through an apartheid as white people? Are you okay? And I hate when people say it's out of ignorance, like don't mind. I find that ridiculous. There's no way we are going to accept. There's no way you're going to see me shut up when I see any other person do anything that hurts people that look like me. If we need equality, if we need to be in an environment where everybody has rights and is able to walk through this life without any kind of racism, it must start from these people. They must be called out. They really have to be called out. And it's the reality of the matter. We are not going to keep quiet on these things. We are still going to come out and call these things out. Like he said, if no one ever came to the continent, no one would care. We still don't care, but you still don't want to leave South Africa. You don't want to leave Africa. You never want to go back to your civilization in Europe. You don't want to leave. Do they want to leave? They are actually fighting to stay in the continent because that's where the life is. That's where everything is. You can't tell a group of people that you came and invaded that if you never came to their land, no one would care, when you are still in their land and still don't want to leave and still want to control everything they have in their land and still claim that you came from a civilized nation of Europe or Americas. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Guys, that is it for me in the video. It was kind of like a long video. By the way, I did a previous video, but it didn't record. There was no volume, so I had to redo it again. But I hope this is better. I hope this is more informative. Guys, that is it for me in the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm always posting. Thank you so much for every super chat. The members, I appreciate your time always. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.